Okay, I'm going to call this 12 Ways to Make TNA Impact a Better Show, and that's what I'm going to be talking about. These are 12 of my suggestions as to how you'd go about improving TNA Impact. I stress I'm not talking about TNA, the wrestling company, as a whole. I wouldn't know where to begin as to how you'd improve that. I'm just talking about impacts themselves. And I see these as 12 changes that TNA could easily make. Most of them before the next taping of Impact, some over the coming months. 12 changes TNA could easily make that would significantly improve the quality of Impacts and would just make people want to watch them. So, yeah. Okay. Let's begin. Number 12. Stop advertising on the ring, okay? I don't know if this has been there for a while and I just haven't noticed it, or if they've just started doing this, but there's a fucking huge advert on the middle of the mat. It looks terrible. Whose idea was this? It looks cheap, it looks tacky, it just screams out, we need money, we need money. And even if you do need money, you don't want to give the impression that you need it. You know, it's like wearing a cheap suit to a job interview or something. It's just giving a horrible impression. No. I don't want to feel like I'm watching an advert when I'm watching a wrestling match. I really don't. And it's kind of subliminal as well because, you know, they're wrestling on the mat and it's just below them and you're just, you know, you're seeing it the whole time. It's just, it's not good. Get rid of it now. I don't like it at all. 11. Fire Jenna Maraska and any other no-name celebrities you've got in your books. Okay. The point of celebrities in wrestling is to make people who don't like wrestling, who don't watch wrestling, think, oh, say Mickey Rourke for example, oh, Mickey Rourke's going to be involved in this. I might watch this to see what Mickey Rourke does in this, right? And the idea being that they watch it, they see Mickey Rourke, and then they think, actually, I quite like all this wrestling stuff. I'm going to continue watching wrestling, and, you know, you've got a new fan, hooked for life, etc., etc., right? That's all fine. That's a good idea. The problem is, TNA doesn't have any celebrities that anyone wants to see. You know, that any of the general public thinks, oh, I'll tune into this to watch them, right? Jenna Maraska has no fan base. She has no fans. If I wanted to join the Jenna Maraska fan club, I'm fairly sure I'd have to start the fan club, okay? No one gives a shit if she's on Impact. No one will watch it because of her. Fire her now. She's shit. She's shit as an on-screen personality as well. She can't do anything. She cuts a crap promo. Just get rid of her. What the fuck is the problem? I mean... 10. More hardcore matches. This one isn't necessarily for me. I'm not the biggest lover of hardcore wrestling in the world. I quite like it, you know, on occasion, but I don't love it. But I know a lot of people do go crazy about it. I know a lot of people like to see crazy violence. And it just seems like the perfect opportunity with everyone bitching about the WWE's PG policy. It seems like the perfect opportunity for TNA to cash in and, you know, go, look, we do crazy ass violence every week on TV. Also, given the number of really old, super limited heavyweights they have on their roster, you know, Kevin Nash, Scott Steiner, all these guys, you know, the franchise, Raven, all these people who are super limited but understand psychology, and although they cannot wrestle a good singles match, they probably can wrestle, and I'm sure in most cases definitely can wrestle a good hardcore match, and, you know, people would want to see that. Scott Steiner wrestled a good First Blood match against Samoa Joe on this week's Impact, and Kevin Nash wrestled a pretty good match against Joe in, you know, the Lethal Lockdown. So the precedent is there. These hardcore matches are a good thing. I think TNA should definitely continue to do this and should really cash in on the fact that WWE is not doing so much of that. Okay, 9. More tournaments. TNA is doing a lot of tournaments recently. The Tag Team Invitational, there was an X Division tournament. I really like tournaments. I've always really liked tournaments. What I like about them is the competition element. I like the idea that if someone wins the belt by winning a tournament, they've won it because they've beaten everyone else. You know, I like that. Or say if someone's #1 contender. I like the idea that people aren't just #1 contender because they're feuding with the champion or champions. They're #1 contender because they've beaten everyone else. They have proved they are the #1 contender. I like that. I think they should do more of this. I think it's a really good thing. 8. This is to Mike Tenay and Don West. Actually start calling the matches while they're happening, right? Because they just talk meaningless nonsense over the top of them, you know. Jeff Jarrett said this, Mick Foley said this. No one gives a fuck, right? Alex Shelley's wrestling Jay Lethal right now. Commentate on that. They're doing some crazy moves that Don West probably doesn't know the name of. Let's hear him try and say them, okay? That's what we want to hear, alright? The commentators people like, right, are people like Jim Ross. Always calls the match, you know. When he's talking meaningless nonsense, it's usually because this match has reminded him of a match 58 years ago where something similar happened, okay? Same with Matt Striker. He ruthlessly calls the match. He never wavers. He's just talking about what's going on in the match, what it means, etc., etc. People like that. Tenay West start calling the matches. Okay, 7. Get the correct people to do promos. This is obvious, right? When you're interviewing the Motor City Machine Guns, interview Shelley, not Sabin. Shelley's really fucking good on the mic. Sabin is really, really average. Too bad. Interview Shelley. Makes sense. Same with Team 3D. Interview Bubba, not Devon. Devon can't talk. He is incompetent. Next. 6. End Mike Tenay's sit-down interviews. They are crap. They are boring. I hate them. That might just be me. Some people might like them, but I really hate them. Just get rid of them. 5. Start Impact with a match each week. This makes a lot of sense, okay? TNA is famous for its wrestling. It became famous for its wrestling. It has a lot of good wrestlers on its roster. It does not have a lot of good people who are good at promo, okay? So start with a match. You know, put the promo second, makes the promo less important. Do it that way. Makes perfect sense. 4. Find a role for Mick Foley. This is very important, I feel. I know a lot of people say that Mick Foley just shouldn't be in the company, etc., etc. I think they're wrong. I think Mick Foley is a fantastic presence on the mic, but he shouldn't be used in this way. There's no way he should be a wrestler, I don't think he even should be this executive shareholder character. I don't think that's working very well. He should be more like the Commissioner when he was in WWE, and I still think they should do some segments with Mick Foley and the Motor City Machine Guns, try and relive the Mick Foley Edge Christian thing, the Credgley thing from WWE, all those funny segments. I think they should do that. I think that'd be good. Also find a role for Jim Cornette, but I don't have time to talk about that. 3. Get a new crowd in the Impact Zone. The crowd at Impact tapings are appalling. They are shockingly bad. They just don't do any of the things I want a crowd to do. No one gets a pop, ever. AJ Styles sometimes, you know, but basically never. No one gets horrendously booed. Jeff Jarrett also gets a pop sometimes, but I mean, they're just a really bad crowd. They're really inconsistent, you know, they just do these chants over the match. They're clearly not paying any attention to what's going on in the match. They're just chanting. That's all they seem to care about. Things like when Kurt Angle puts the ankle lock on, or when Sting puts the Scorpion Deathlock on. These are moves that people do actually tap out to. I mean, the ankle lock, people tap out to it a lot, okay? But the crowd just has no reaction to it. None. They should be, you know, going mental. When Chris Jericho locks in the Walls of Jericho, the crowd go insane. No one has tapped out to the Walls of Jericho in fucking years, but the crowd still go mental, okay? That's what should be happening. They're just a bad crowd. 2, play to your strengths, okay? You're known for your X division. You're now known for your tag team division. You're also known for having the better women's division. Exploit all 3 of these. You should be having an 8+ minute match in your X division, your tag division, and your women's division. All 3 of those every single week. People would want to see that. And also use the good knockouts when you have a knockouts match. You know, Awesome Kong, Tara, she's great, you know, etc., etc. Number 1, fire JB and Lauren. Right? This might just be me. I hate Jeremy Borash. He's a little school kid. He's a little freak. I really hate him. I really want to get rid of him. Lauren, she's a terrible interviewer. She just does these horrible gurning faces the whole time, like she's disgusted at everyone, at what everyone's saying, just for no reason. I don't know, maybe the cameraman's masturbating over there. I have no idea, but it just she looks ridiculous all the time. Get rid of these people. It would mean less segments, which I just hate the segments on Impact. Get rid of them. That simple. So those are my 12 reasons. Okay. Tell me what you think. Tell me how you think they can make Impact better. Just give me your general comments. Rate this video and subscribe if you wish. Okay, bye.